Good afternoon and welcome to our second Six Nations Summer Series. We've got a second and we've got a pedwar. I'r pedwar chwaraewr headline genedl gwlad yn y cymhwriaeth dwe gwlad y Guinness yn Edward. Y cymhwriaeth mwyaf rygbi menwod. Following the first edition in 2024, 14 graduates went on to represent their respective teams in the 2025 Guinness Women's Six Nations, the biggest annual event in women's rugby. Y cyfres yn rhan o'r platfform ieuenctid gamu unrhyw ganfynadol. Ta'r intellectual ar y cael yn dangos heddi edrychwn ymlaen am yr ornest rhwng Ffrainc a Iwerddon. The Summer Series provides the platform for international rugby. We're excited to see the talent on show today, to see who on the field will make the step up to the Guinness Women's Six Nations in 2026, as we turn to our second match of the day between France and Ireland. Can we remind you that in the event of any health and safety issues, please make your way to the front car park as you evacuate. Also, if anyone needs any medical attention, medical staff will be situated on the left side of the stand. Members of anyone day today, please be careful and take on plenty of water.
A very good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Ystrad Minac in the Rhymney Valley in South Wales for the second match of match day 2 in the Women's Under-20 Summer Series. It is the French who we see in action next, the team which, above all others, last year performed with the most distinction, and they certainly looked in good form 6 days ago as they beat Italy. But up against an Irish team which also won in their first match last week. They will be facing a very physical, very committed test today from this Irish team. Irish women's rugby, it's on the rise. And after the performances of the senior side in this year's Six Nations, this under-20s team got off to a great start against Wales, beating them 27 points to 10. And they've got a consistent selection after that, tweaking very few of the team which delivered that victory. And both teams take their place for the national anthems ahead of our second match of the day here in South Wales. Never less than full throttle, this Irish team, and this is how they line up. It's just the 4 changes to the starting team made by Niamh Briggs, the head coach, and from 1 to 15 they look like this. Ella Byrne, Beth Buttimer and Sophie Barrett are a consistent selection in the front row. In the second row, in comes Alma Atagarman to be paired with Ava O'Flynn. The captain is Jane Neal. She switches from the second row to the back row to go alongside Poppy Garvey and Jemima Adams-Verling in the back row. The halfbacks are Jay Gaffney and Katrina Finn. Then in the centres, it's Quiva McCormack and Lucia Lynn. And the back 3 sees Katie Corrigan come in to join Hannah Clark and Niamh Gallagher. The French starters look like this. There's a few more changes for the French as opposed to 4 days ago. In comes the hat-trick hero, Alina Folitu, to start in the front row. She joins Chloe Vauclin and Amalia Bazola in the front row. Then in the second row, Siobhan Soketa and Chloe Correa. The captain is again Lou Roboam. in the back row, joining Ines Zeze and Zoe Jean. Then it's Justine Ogier and Faustine Pisichelli in the halfbacks. Anek Konyi, Alice Grandhomme and Cherezade Saiki are the back three. In the centres, it is Anemone Talalalua and Mood Barcelot. So the French are without their captain Anna Masipi, who started the last match, went off with a big injury. They are looking for new leadership in this match against Ireland, but the talent is there, we know that, and the organisation, the style of play is so compelling. Can they do it against the Irish, who will look to get stuck into them from the off? France field this at the back and then play it into the hands out wide of Faustine Pisichelli, and that dribbles along the touchline. It's kept in, Ireland having to scramble, and they'll scramble well. And on the 22 they secure possession and straight into contact right from the off. The forward effort absolutely central to how Ireland beat Wales. They had to withstand early physical pressure from Wales 6 days ago, and you would expect the French to apply that and then some in this encounter in match day 2. Good afternoon to you, Amber Reid.
Good afternoon. I think this will be a really intriguing game. France with a couple of changes, Ireland a little bit more settled. France had a really clear blueprint last week on how they wanted to play. Even with subs coming on, they still stuck to their game plan. I think Ireland had a really strong game too, so it'll be intriguing to see how this unfolds.
It is as hot as it looks here in Ustad Minak, 32 degrees now. And France making the temperature rise on the pitch as well. They start to move and then they break away to the right-hand side. The forwards going through here looking for the first score, and the French are going to get it done. Racing home is Justine Ogier. In less than 2 minutes, France are on the board. The forwards bullying Ireland up front and spotting a gap as those forwards were turned by this monstrous French pack. Ogier, lovely supporting line here from Folitu.
You mentioned Folitu's hat-trick from last week, and she only came on in the second half. Lovely bit of footwork there, and like any good scrum half, just trailing in behind. Awareness of where the players are around her, where the ball is. Looking for the opportunities, but 15. The French set piece was really strong last week, and Ireland are in for a challenge.
So Faustine Pisichelli doesn't add the extras. France in the lead, and it's another scrum half talent that has finished this one off. After Pauline Barat's performance last match, we're seeing already the quality of Justine Ogier. So Katrina Finn of Munster gets Ireland going again, and quelling the pace and the tempo that France want to play at has got to be part of their mission brief early on for the Irish, Amber, would you say?
Yeah, France are into position so quickly that when the ball's available they can play straight away. The way to get stuck into this French team, like Ireland have done in this scenario here, they've really slowed that down, which allows them to then put pressure on the kicker and get a really good, apart from the pass, a really good opportunity to return with interest.
So Hannah Clark is doing that return, just drops it as she tries to go on the outside. There was hay to be made if she'd beaten that first player.
Yeah, some space on the outside, but in terms of your counter, if you catch the ball cleanly, it's kind of that race to halfway. If you can get back up to halfway with the ball in possession, that's a win for your side, and then you can really start to turn the screw. So if Ireland got back up, but unfortunately the pass went behind, and then in that scenario you probably just need to put your head down and carry rather than look to run around the outside, because this French team will keep pressing and they will put you under pressure.
What's the mood at scrum time? France off the back, pick and go with Zoe Jean, try scorer against Italy, wearing 7. Now wearing 5, Chloe Correa. Heads into heavy traffic. They snap back to the left. Lou Roboam, the captain, wearing 4 today. Siobhan Soketa. All the back row involved in this set. A little short pass close to the gain line. Nicely moved on by Bazola, that. And now they go again with Piscicelli, and the big fend comes in. That hand was well placed. Ireland have slowed this down well on the edge, but France will speed it up again. Here goes Ogier, stepping and then using the fend as well. France dictating the tempo that this match is going to be played at. And moving it along to Folly 2. Sucks a couple of players onto her, the hooker. This gets spread nicely, good line. Taken again, that was by Barcelot. Bazola. Ireland's Jane Neal, no surprise to see her taking down the big French ball carriers. They're through here, the lovely offload as well. France racing home again for a second, surely they reach just short. Ogier arrives, lets it go to the forwards who muscle their way over again, and France are looking right at the pace of this game. Ireland struggling to live with the French early on.
That tap from Ogier was a statement of intent. They know they've got that maul in the locker, but they wanted to raise the tempo of this game, really test Ireland, and when you've got the pace and power of this French pack, it's only going to be a matter of time when you get that close to the try line. It was a lovely break, lovely bit of footwork, out the back offload, which created this opportunity to go over the line, and when you're that close, it is so hard to stop in defence.
So Piscicelli lines it up. Counters into the post again. So problems for the place kickers today, Amber, it would seem, particularly kicking at these particular set of posts, but 10-0 to France.
You spoke about wanting to stunt the French breakdown. There are opportunities out there where France have only had one person left over. Their late tips to the line, the offloads, mean that their support players will get taken out. If Ireland can attack those rucks, that's where their turnover opportunities will become.
Struggling right now just to lay hands on this rapid moving French picture. Penalty though here, they do lay gloves on France on the floor and muscle that penalty.
Jane Neal was fantastic last week, really drove her team round, just missed out on the player of the match. But a really important intervention there, great tackler assist, clear release, and she's so quick over that ball. See the tackler assist, clear release, and no chance for the French support to get in.
At 6 we might get a chance to see more of her on the floor than we did last week as a second row. Either way, she is integral to the Irish effort. What a performance last week, Amber. I mentioned it was something special. Here go Ireland, needing to get a score of their own.
Thanks.
French knock on.
Knock on and with that. Can you just watch the effects come across? Okay. Okay. Thank you.
This is absolutely the hottest time of day, and if there's a particularly hot place on the field right now, it is between these two sets of front rows. Hardly any wind out there either to cool anyone down.
Set.
Irish scrum holds and the ball comes out. Penalty comes. Tap and go. Here go Ireland looking for the line. Jay Gaffney goes really close. And now the forwards will carry this on for Ireland. France are offside. Referee today, by the way, Alice Tora of Italy.
1 moment.
Not
Number
happy
18
with
captain.
France's Chloe Vauclin, the loose head prop.
Number 18 captain. Was cynical. 18. Oh, I'm sorry. 18.
No hesitation to go to the bin for France, and so Vauclin off for 10.
Cynical offside. On the line.
So Ireland 5 metres away, use the heavies to get over, and they are over the line, but it's held up by France.
Drop out.
So Alma Atagarman over the line, but France with hands underneath.
She made a real impact when she came off the bench last week. Some really strong carries, got Ireland back into that game.
So from the dropout, France have gone straight to touch. So we have a scrum from all the way back here, middle of the field. An even better chance this for Ireland.
It's a tough place to defend. You really need your flankers to do a job, but they have to win the scrum first. You can't allow the other team to get a pushover from here. One thing Ireland were really good at last week was being really clinical every time they got into the Welsh 22. Wales created far more opportunities but couldn't score, but the Irish, when they got here, they came away with points, and they need to do that now.
The front row. I can't play. Thanks.
So the French need to bring on reinforcements in order to complete the scrum, because Chloe Vauclin, the loose head prop, is off. So this will test the depth of the French bench already.
Oh, come on.
If nothing else though, Amber, it has slowed down the rate of play and the pace that the French were starting this match at for Ireland.
Yeah, we spoke about that tap being a bit of a statement of intent. We know that they could have easily gone to the corner and looked at their drive and maul again. But I think the way they played fast and loose last week.
Number 6, are you okay?
And they're probably going to do the same regardless of the heat. They have that style of play, and that's the way they want to put out there.
So Agathe Fournier is on for the French in the front row. Her first scrum is a big one. Ireland with Finn, their fly half, directly behind the number 8, Adams Verling. But Ireland's number 8 may well fancy her chances from here. Picks up and goes to Gaffney. Now this is Finn. Nice little pass, superb tackle. Right on the line, landing it on McCormack. Atagarman, the chosen runner for the next wave. She's levelled as well. French defence standing up to the job right now. Little gap here spotted, and nicely played by Ireland. 2 metres away. The pause to summon the power to try and go over this French line. Italy only managed it once. Ireland's next wave, again repelled. Now there's a chance. There's the line, but still there. Not yet in the right position. This is from Finn over to the corner. And Ireland's touchdown with Hannah Clark. And that had to be on a sixpence. And wasn't it just?
forward so close on so many occasions, but you can see how narrow that French defence have got. What's great to see is the wingers backing the inside players to get them the ball, standing in those 15-metre channels, asking the questions to the French defence. And like you say, that ball had to be put on a sixpence.
Try is good.
I think it really well last week.
Thanks.
Only 50-22 of the day, and there's another one to add to the collection. A lovely crossfield.
Finn has set this off in the right direction again. What a strike of the ball. Katrina Finn with a wonderful 60 seconds of play for Ireland. And they are 5 points down on the French now. Make that 3 points down on the French. France leading Ireland 10 points to 7. Ireland now well and truly in the boxing match.
You okay?
So Ireland don't secure the restart. And the French right back in a good position.
Coach! Band! Set!
So Ogier. Ball comes out quickly. Ogier has to think quickly, and the ball gets knocked out of her hands. Ireland have won it back. Very effective from the Irish backs. They haven't knocked this on, so they can still play. But a more routine exit is chosen instead, and Finn has gone long off that left boot of hers. It's going to be spun back in. Zoe Jean was the intended target, didn't find her. Here's Talalua, who had a great game in the centres against Italy. She loses the ball, but illegally so. We're on halfway now, and
No problem. Thank you.
a really good contest on the floor shaping up.
Really interesting to see Zoe Jean. Every time there's a kick that Ireland are looking to set up, she drops into the backfield, ready to return with interest. Normally it's just your wingers or your fly half, fullback who are back in those spaces, but yeah, using her power and prowess to carry off those counters.
Politu's throw taken by Robois. Off the back they go. Nice draw and give, and then the backs come into play. Talalua. Heavy contact from the Irish, making sure that that particular attack ended right there and then. And they've stolen it brilliantly. It's excellent work on the floor from Ireland, really is.
Use it.
They were stunned in those opening minutes, but they put that behind them nicely, and Finn has found an awful lot of space down here. Having to be very quick is Pisichelli. She's dropped it. Ireland still there. It's tapped ahead. Under real pressure now, the French. Ireland will rob this on the floor, surely, with Jane Neal. She's got in there again, the Irish captain.
That's Poppy Garvey with the initial counter in their own half. Spots that the French get too high in their body position, they switch off, they think the ball's gone, and she just drives through and her team follow her. And Finn again, she's having a wonderful 5 minutes, sends it downfield, but it's only as good as the chase, and they back it up. Well deserved field position here for Ireland.
Blue?
Is under pressure, as we've seen France at under-20s level, even just for this period that it is, a 5 minute, 8 minute period at best. This is not the usual fare for these French players. Ireland testing them in so many ways here. Great take from the line out. They're looking for their second score here, and they're close now. French hands all over the ball, but Ireland over the line and forcing it down. They've done it again. And Ireland showing exactly what they're made of now. Beth Buttimer comes up with the ball at the back. The whole forward pack with a hand in that one.
The whole full pack, but it was the build-up play and what led them to get to that position. A lovely counter. We've already spoken about how to disrupt this French, and that's get her their breakdown. Transition turnover, long kick downfield, a fantastic chase. And then again, Ireland showing how clinical they can be when they get in these positions. The French do their best to disrupt, but the Irish stay calm, stay composed. Fantastic
15.
try.
Finn's attempt on the posts drifts to the white, but Ireland lead 12 points to 10 against France.
Thanks.
Cancelling out that fast start by Les Bluettes.
Yes, because they're coming out.
The Irish with the momentum. How much more can they take out of this phase of the game in which they're playing so well? France keen to shut them down off the restart. Gaffney to the try scorer Buttimer. Counter ruck from France's Correa. Finn sends this off down the park. Psyche, the outside centre, gets it. Here's Jean, the big carrying Zoe Jean, and she's done damage again. Finds a nice offload too. The step is wound up by Barcelo, and it's back to Psyche, and she's still going, and the French are in full cry here. It's a brilliant score in the far right-hand corner. Alice Grandhomme will sign it off, but the counter was delivered with such style and intent. Ireland didn't know where to look.
And that's tactically why Jean's in that backfield. Lovely little outside break. Saiki gets it from the touchline and feeds her powerful runner straight away. And then there's the continuity that we expect from the French. Support runners running off shoulders. Head down, outside step. Freeze the arms. And then it's just a matter of finding the support runners on the shoulders, making the right decision at the right time.
We have water break. Water break.
So the extras added. Faustine Pisichelli moves France to 17-12 ahead. This first half is shaping up very nicely as a contest. We're going to have a water break at this point, given the heats, given the paces of this game that these players are being put through. So they get a break, and Amber, a chance for us to discuss perhaps the different ways in which teams can try and handle the French, because they don't seem to go off the ball. You can keep them quiet like the Irish have been doing, but it's always there, that kind of capacity, whereas Ireland rode the momentum wave really well for that 10-minute period to put themselves in front. How do you, if you're Ireland, how do you suddenly now get back into that swing of things after that try?
I think it's really hard. Like on the pitch, you feel the emotion of every event that happens, and the French have scored there, but Ireland have to remember the things that went really well for them in that 10-minute period prior where they came away with those 2 tries. I think also we haven't really seen the French under pressure. If Ireland can keep close to them on this scoreboard, it'd be really interesting to test the mentality of this French team. We've seen them play with a lot of freedom, but they've also been 30-odd points up and really comfortable in the game. How do they play when they are under pressure, when there's one score in the balance, when an error could see them on the wrong side of the scoreboard? That'll be the real tester of this French side. So Ireland need to keep creating their chances, keep being as clinical as they are, and try and rattle this French team, see if they can force them into playing a different style or making errors.
Next, we need the time for the back. Finish?
Yeah.
A whistle?
Wherever you are watching on from around the world, it's great to have your company here in Ystrad Mynach. We're in the Rhymney Valley in South Wales for these 3 match days in the Women's Six Nations Summer Series, designed to be a summer school for the emerging talent in the women's game, and it is delivering on that pathway. It really is. 14 players from last year's competition, no less, made their appearances in this year's senior Women's Six Nations, and that represents a very, very good turnover of players, pathway of players moving from this level up to the next. Some of the names that come to mind when we think of the French players: Kelly Arbe, she stunned England with a try at Twickenham in this year's Six Nations. She was playing for France in this summer series last year, already going on to great things. It really is it's a pathway, but things can move very quickly at this point in your career, Amber, can't they? Players can be internationals within not just 12 months, but within 8 months, 6 months.
Yeah, it's a real opportunity to show what you're about on this stage. You're playing with other international players, so it's not just standing out at a club, it's being able to stand out on a world stage, on a European stage. And for these players, it's some of the biggest games of their career so far, and it's such an amazing opportunity for them to be out here in this competition. And like you said, it's a real platform for the senior international coaches to look at their emerging talent, to see who's ready to take that next step, who needs another year in this pathway, and who can mix it in the senior side.
Yes? Girls, 11 green.
11 green. 11.
France, or rather Ireland, just not getting their numbers right.
Can I start?
Players that are on the field.
Winger coming.
We might do our own count here to see how many they've got, but certainly Alice Tora and Katrina Finn aren't able to get on with it because of the confusion. They have got 15 players on the park now.
Time is on.
On comes Robin O'Connor, the Wexford Wanderer, to take Ireland up to 15 players again. She replaces Katie Corrigan. That's a shame for Corrigan, who has been in the starting lineup for the first time in this summer series, and we haven't managed to see too much of her.
Here.
They had a good time celebrating their victory against the Italians, the French, didn't they? There were, if you follow our social media channels, you would have seen the on-site DJ and dance party that the French were getting into after their victory 6 days ago. And Folitu was crucial to that. She's on the ball here, the number 16. Hat-trick from the bench, no less. Now in the starting role. So was this woman, Talalua. And Pisichelli whips that one away to Chelizade Saiki, who's doing much of the heavy lifting in replacing Anna Masipi, who's injured. The French not sticking this to hand, and Ireland storming forwards into them and getting the result as well, harrying the French to distraction. It's great play from Ireland.
The more Ireland can hustle in these areas, the more frustrated the French are going to get when it doesn't stick or go to hand, and they can't find their style of play, their flow that they want, that they found so much in that first game. So if Ireland can keep doing that to the French, again, that's another way that they can rattle them and really get stuck into them.
Oh, come on, you have to hurry up. You have to hurry up.
Yes.
Can't stay there.
Hey, I'm here. Thanks.
What? And it's all ready. Girls, I got you all day.
Beth Buttermer pointing out that the French are taking
Seconds now.
longer to get to their marks than her team.
Coach!
Bye.
Bye!
They are hard to persuade, the referees, aren't they?
Set!
It's an uphill task, that one, from Bottomer. Nonetheless, got to be tried. And Ireland have the ball off the back of the scrum. Gaffney. Finn doesn't go to hand. So Clark, the try scorer, goes back, and she's hit really hard by Talalua. Atagarman. French have to go low and high on her. Gaffney. Here's Buttermer. Pass came in from Lucia Lynn, Munster woman. This is to the floor. Neal doesn't get that back on her side. Well, she knows all about how to work the ball off and out of opponents' hands. She gets it done to her there.
The Irish picked the right side to attack off that scrum. They played flat, they created the opportunity, but the ball was just behind Clark on that top side of your screen, and that lady wearing 22 doesn't need a second invitation. And they're a crucial turnover for a team as well. I think, again, she was part of that midfield axis that really controlled the French last week. Unfortunately, Masipi is out, but I thought, again, yeah, that 10, 12, 13 combination was really strong.
Okay, thanks.
Tanya Barat is your player of the match, Amber. She's on the bench today.
I need water.
They have so many areas in which they can attack, and
Fuck off.
they don't tend to stick to just one of them, do they? Their variety is what makes them so unpredictable.
Thanks.
It's the variety, but so much time now goes into analysing the opposition team. The more variety you can have, the harder it is to analyse. And when you
22 line.
plan, you want to give them 1 or 2 points, but if a team has variety, you're and this, and this, and this, and I think that's what the French have in their locker at the moment. They've got 2 sides of attack from each breakdown, which again keeps the defence guessing. They can play front line, they can play out the back, and they have runners coming from everywhere. So yeah, it's that variety that makes it really hard to get stuck into them in defence. But I think Ireland are doing a great job at the moment at stunting that play and really slowing the ball down.
Yes, but it's here.
How much does analysis take at under-20s level? And do you think this week, how much would have been spent on looking at the tape of last Saturday?
I think probably less so at this level rather than the senior sides, but I think more analysis would have obviously gone into this game than the first game. I think all teams coming into this first game of this tournament would have just wanted to put what they've been working on in training out on the park, and then potentially for the second game, that's when you start to have a little bit of variety, have a game plan for the team you're facing, and then again for next week's game, game 3, you're probably looking at a little bit more analysis again. But yeah, not as much as the seniors, but I think a fair amount.
France take the line out. Ogier, Folitu. Low centre of gravity that Folitu has. So hard to put down. Coming forth is Fournier. Ogier slips it back to Jean. Now they'll go back to the left-hand side. And Pisichelli, the pass is shelled. And Conyi was round quickly to try and recover the situation, but even she couldn't. France, for the first time, not finding any open doors, no matter how hard they knocked.
Don't go inside.
Irish defence are just scanning what's in front of them. You can see the French are looking to swing late into that space, but they're not overfolding, they're looking up, they're keeping their channels marked, which means that there's no obvious open door for the French to run into.
Great throw from Bottomer, and a good take from Ireland. Headway being made into the French ranks. Gaffney And they set things up with the forwards as well, with Garvey. And then carry forward once again. It's purposeful collisions from Ireland. They're making these count, but they get that last one wrong, holding on to the ball on the floor, right in front of the sticks. Very much doubt the French would go for the poles. This is Shelley, takes control. It's a long way to the touchline from the very centre of the park, and not easy to make many metres. And Pissy Shelley doesn't, but France with the all-important set piece.
Clean rock in the runway for our nine.
No.
Just watch.
Okay.
And just
For this it was okay. Don't close the gap, French, please. Please, French? Thanks.
Volley 2. Off the back of a rolling maul. Doesn't quite land for her. Instead, Granton, who's already scored a try today for France with the next carry. Lou Roboam. And Korea. And then Barcelona.
What?
Volley 2. Avoids the first tackle again. Ogier. Pissy Shelley. They've been, again, not backwards France. Ireland steadily putting pressure on their opponents. And they might be holding this up here. What a defensive effort again from Ireland.
Defence is so good. They're working hard to keep numbers on feet. They're making good decisions. They're closing the space. Potentially some space in the backfield for France if they have a little look in those areas, which is probably why they're being put under pressure in the front line. But Ireland are doing such a great job at pushing together. As the ball in defence, you want to come off the line when the ball's in the air. You don't want to come off the line too hard when the players have ball in hands, because then they can step and find spaces. So as the ball travels in air, that's your time to really go forward together as a unit and close down that space, which is what Ireland are doing really well.
Time on. Perfect.
Both sets of teams are toiling in the midday sun here in South Wales. It is thirsty work, it is hot work. But Ireland's much the more composed team in defence. And that was Katrina Finn as well, who did the bulk of setting up that turnover. Good work from the fly half. Now she'll get a chance to attack. Stretches it across the middle, and Ireland's fullback brought into play nicely, and Niamh Gallagher. Gaffney. Step backing against the grain. Now it's the turn of the French defence to show up. And they're stepping up and making sure Ireland make no headway whatsoever. Finn chips ahead for herself. It's going to bounce for Ireland. It's going to bounce very nicely. McCormack. Now for Finn, she has a much more disorganised French line to look at and to pick her way through. Gaffney needs this ball to go quickly. She's not going to get it. She'll get a penalty instead.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Finn looks for a big touch finder, and it's going to stay in. This is touched in the air, so everyone is onside. Ireland and Finn reply with Gallagher now. Flicks it out the back, just about holds on to the ball. Gaffney. Still they go to the left-hand side. Still the hands are good. Might have to juggle with a couple of these balls, but they're not being put down.
No.
Bottomer.
You can play it.
Finn. Now it does go to the floor. France will try and use this.
No advantage. First knock on.
Just wasn't quick enough for the French to be able to do anything with.
Thanks. Number 9 and 15 blue. 9 and 15 blue. Out, please.
Much of an emergency. Look where we are, Joe, you know?
This is an area where France were really strong last week. Their transition, both defence to attack to defence, was so slick. Every single time that they got the ball from an attacking error, they moved it and found free space. I think if Ireland can keep coming up with plays like that, where if they do make an error, they're going to happen in the game, but they have to kill the ball in the next phase. They can't let France continue to play. So like that is a really good example where they've just shut it down at source and now they get a chance to reset and have a go at the set piece.
Amber, you're able to note any improvements
I don't hear you.
from either side upon
The first
6
time,
days
that's
ago?
one, yes.
I think Ireland seemed to be building a few more phases together. I don't think it was a fault of their own. I think the Welsh controlled the majority of possession in the game last week, but they're playing a little bit more. They're still as clinical as they were last week.
We can go?
And their defence is fronting up a little bit more. Wales got over the gain line last week. This French team, who are arguably a little bit more powerful, they're stopping them at source, so their defence has definitely stepped up their organisation, and that is crucial for this game. In terms of the French, I think the difference at the moment, they're just not quite finding that tempo and flow. They still have the powerful carriers, they're still looking to offload to those support players, which is fantastic, but they're just not quite as dangerous as they were against the Italians, but I think that's credit to the Irish.
Coach!
So France's Pauline Barat is now on at scrum half, ahead of Ogier, so this will offer an extra kicking weapon to France's game, and she kicks downfield for the first time.
Go back, go back.
Coming off the side of the boot and going out into touch off Niamh Gallagher.
Gallagher did such a good job there in the backfield. The rest of her back line were up flat, and against the right-footed kicker coming off the base of a scrum of Barat's quality, she was all on her own and so much space, and to collect that on the full is such a good job. But then the next bit in the kick, it's probably a bit risky kicking across the pitch in front of your post, especially with the pace of these French wingers. If they collect that, they're going to punish you.
French, please. Pleasure. Don't close the gap.
Volley two. Wants to go to the very edge of that 15-metre line. Throws it too long. Bottomer almost away the hooker. Gaffney to Finn, to Neil, and now she stretches her legs. Jane Neal, the captain. Gaffney arrives in good time. Nice hands along the line for Ireland. Great chance this for the Irish. Just the 5 points behind France right now. Ella Burns with this carry and thunders further forward. 5 metres. The French have pinched them the ball and stolen through illegally. Great passage for Ireland.
Yeah, really lovely bit of play, wrap around by Jane Neal.
That was the right thing to do, yeah? If they bet on you, if we can beat the forward, we'll go forward.
See, the attack of the Irish is just beating the fold of the French, which means that O'Connor has space on this outside. Gallagher, lovely fix and give on the last French defender, and Burns with his carry up the guts. 1 or 2 players left in her wake. And again, that sustained pressure means France feel like they have to do something to fix the problem. and that in doing so they're then giving away those penalties, allowing Ireland a really good opportunity to close this scoreline.
Thanks. The timing, a little bit.
It was tackling all over the
A sight which
Water. Thanks.
is upsetting for the French, particularly one of their players down and
Thanks so much.
needing more than just running repairs, it looks like.
See both sides in a really tight huddle, making sure that their messages to finish this half strong are really clear. French under a little bit of pressure by this Irish attack because they're looking like they're starting to fire. Finding a few more soft shoulders of this French that looks set at the early stages of this game.
And surprisingly, both the Irish join the French in seeking shade
On that monitor is okay.
from the
is
trees
correct?
just beyond the pitch.
Thanks.
It is that hot today, any time in the sun, let alone when you're doing physical exertion of the rugby kind. It makes you sweat, and Amber, how is it when you're in a huddle when your teammate is injured? Is it even for England, even in a hugely important match, is it difficult to put that aside, to put the injury to your teammate aside and focus on what's going to happen when the whistle goes again?
I think obviously like, if a teammate's down, you have concern for that player, but also you have a job to do. So it's about listening to your leaders. You'll have your captain on the pitch, you'll have the person who will lead a specific area, so a breakdown leader, an attack leader, a defence leader, and it's about those players stepping up and really taking control of that huddle situation. Sometimes things don't need to be said, in which case you might have someone who will lead a group breath or just keep everyone focused, or it might be the case of if it's a prolonged break like this, you might just take the tension out of it and have a bit of a chat, deliver your messages so everyone's on the same page, but you might just need something that's a bit of a distraction. And then as soon as it looks like you're about to play, that's when you deliver your key messages again, and then you're straight into it. So yeah, it is difficult. You're concerned about your teammate, but again, everyone is really focused at that moment in time.
The dark side.
Well, the French player who is injured is being stretchered off to the applause of all those around Ustad Minak right now. A really, really sad sight to see. And we wish them all the very best in recovering. So Ireland will restart. Katrina Finn with the ball in her hand. She goes to touch. So great chance for Ireland. Irish line out.
On this line.
From this kind of position, they've
Number 3.
had
Please.
France on
Number 3,
an ice
please.
rink in the
Thanks.
past, earlier in this half. Beth Buttermup goes to the front, taken down by Gleeson, and Ireland have got round Gleeson. And they go again. All the effort being put into this to level up the match for Ireland. They're there again, and bodies collapsing on the floor. The French have somehow got underneath it. And Alice Toro, the referee, happy for France to play on from it without any need to look at the TMO. She was right on the spot.
Okay, thanks.
It looked like Ireland were in full control of that maul to get down, and it would have been really hard for French bodies to get underneath, but the referee's happy to play on.
And Ireland sent 50 metres backwards, and Finn.
Go back 19.
Pushes right to the edge there. Barat fields it nicely.
It's okay.
Her and Finn so adept in the kicking battle, but Finn just, I think, saw that a little late, and it came out of the sun, and she knocked it off.
Yeah, you can see her trying to put her hand up there to shield the sun to try and spot the ball.
I can't have that, yeah? We can't have that as a unit.
So there's quite a lot of backfield cover there for France. It probably would have been better just to run it back. They were on the halfway to try and put the French under pressure or go high to compete, but it was easily taken by Barat out on the touchline, and then returns with interest.
Time off. We have a prop on the ground. I'm sorry.
We win, yeah? We never do second half. What's next? Huh? Win this from. Win this from girls.
Yes, yes. Please, Doc. Thanks.
A couple of enforced breaks in play, and both teams, that urgency that they've shown at times has been taken out of the game. Maybe one side can inject something before half time. It shouldn't be underestimated what an impressive half this is for Ireland, to keep France within their grasp, within a score. Not many teams have managed to do that at under-20s level since the summer series started last year. Can the French add anything to their tally right here? This is Talalua. She breaks the line, now gets it away. Cogny, she's looking to go on the outside. She gets there. Support on the inside. France so close with Psyche. Ogier, Roboam. The support is good. And Ogier back to her fly half. Pisichelli, this has gone so far backwards. France do pick it up, but they are doing so from a standing start. And Ireland have really closed things down and regathered.
It's okay.
Barat. Ogier. Barat at 10, but wearing 9. And Folitu. And now French players going down and more medics coming on. The cost of this first half has been enormous for both teams. It's been exhausting out there. But France still going at it, looking to add to their score before half-time. Penalty, 5 metres from Ireland's line.
Yes, but we have someone on the ground.
Sorry?
Yes, no problem.
There's a big head cut in the middle for one of the French players in that collision.
Yes.
Again, the French showing that they have support runners all over the park. A lovely first phase move. Talalua getting her hands on the ball, causing lots of problems when she puts her head down and carries.
For me, no foul play. No foul play for this girl and the other girl.
More time. On pitch for the players. They must be dreaming of the shade of the changing room, Zamba, at this point. It's been 40 minutes, but it's been much longer than that out here, almost pushing 50 minutes.
Yes, that time in the sun really saps your energy the more you're stood around in this heat, and although you're not doing much, you're just delivering messages, it really does take it out of you, and when half-time's so close.
I have head contact. TMO check.
unsurprisingly, after that head contact, Jenny Davis and Alice Tora are going to look at as head contact, whether it's needing
Right in front of the monitor.
any punishment.
Jenny, we are here.
Okay, I'm going to give you the best angle we have now.
Okay.
It was in that midfield collision that looked like Ireland have had the choke tackle used really effectively so far in that first half. It looked like they had another situation in the midfield, but I'm not sure how they got into the initial contact, if that was the one they're going to look at that was high.
This is your best angle, right?
This is your best angle.
Okay. I can see.
Looks to be head on head
I don't see the number.
between Ines Zeze,
Send me again one
who
more time.
got the cut on her head in the end. And maybe Katrina Finn, Ireland's fly half.
I see 3 blue that tackle upside on 26 blue. Low velocity, so for me only yellow card. Not active, no. Absorb the, yes. Low falls for me, low falls. Is sub the low danger, yes. Yes.
Yeah, you can see there,
The green
it's
one who's passive.
Barrett, that's just that upright secondary tackler. If you're in defence, it's your job. You have to be the one that goes lower. You have to dip your hips. She's just there, gets caught upright. There's that second person in, and that's head on head, but I'd say it's more Zizi that's taken the momentum into that collision, which might be a mitigating factor in the referee's decision.
Can you give me in the real time? Not slowly.
Real time now.
Okay, thanks. Okay. High level of danger. No, only stopper. Only yellow. For me it's yellow.
Means though for Ines Zeze, she's
Never go down.
being replaced after that bang of heads. Not necessarily because of this
Thanks.
moment, just
For me only
she's being
it's
switched anyway.
yellow card.
So Ireland are going to start the second half down to 14.
Captain, both, and the number 3 green.
Number 3 green.
Sophie Barrett of Ireland,
Je comprends tout, vous
a
inquiétez pas.
Skillen player.
Non, viens. Okay, there was a high tackle, he never go back, head to head. So only yellow card.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sophie Barrett has to head for an extended half-time break.
She almost got caught out because Zizi rode the initial contact,
This is the point.
span round to her left, and Barrett was just in her way. But again, you have to be reading those pictures in defence and have the ability to react really late to the attacking player.
Oh,
But I think for me, correct decision, yellow card.
which mark? For the penalty?
On the 22.
Justine Ogier
In front of the posts. And
has a
1
whole
metre off
horde
the
of French
22.
forwards next to her to
Okay.
use.
So you're inside the 22.
Okay. Okay, the point.
There you go.
High tackle was here. Yes, but they have the options.
Yeah. We have 2 options here and here.
No? Jenny? We have the options. No?
Penalty
No.
for high tackle.
No, his penalty here.
Here?
No.
Okay.
Scrum? They call me Scrum.
So like the French had to do after Chloe Vauclin was yellow carded, Ireland bringing players on so they can be competitive at the scrum.
They've picked the scrum option here. They had a penalty a few moments ago in exactly the same position. They decided to kick to touch, but only ended up on the 22. I think this is a really smart decision for the threats that they have in this back line.
Set!
So Ogier, Pissi-Shelley, but picked up and gone by France off the base of the scrum. Great yards made. Ireland are going to save this, however, taking down Tung. And what an end to the half for the Irish. They've had to be patient. They've had to stay cool in this intense heat in Ustrad Minac. But they have managed to do it, and they stay within striking distance of this brilliant French side at half-time. So the French leading Ireland 17 points to 12 at half-time. This was how things began. A great try by Ogier off the back of the maul for France. Scrum half racing away. France with all manner of different numbers starting this match. They didn't make a raft of changes in the first couple of minutes. They started with these squad numbers. And then they were quickly adding more to their tally from short range again.
No problem.
But Ireland's first score was a beautiful one, wasn't it, Amber?
Yeah, I think they've had to work really hard for the opportunities that they've had, but they've taken them, and that's the key thing in this game. And we've spoken about the French variety, and Ireland showing their own here. Inch perfect kick, Clark on the end of it.
Who's open? I'm open.
And then here the forwards, the Vax is showing what they're about, and then the forwards, well organised, powerful. Potentially a case for another one in this second half that they could have got, which was adjudged held up. But really good score by Buttimer there to keep himself in this game.
Certainly the most comprehensive of the scores. This team score from France, beautifully constructed, involving Psyche here making a break and bringing in Grandhomme to round it off. It's a tight contest between Ireland and France, and not many people might have predicted that ahead of this one, but Ireland are right in the fist fight here. France leading 17 points to 12.
I'll do it. Right?
Please welcome back to the field, France.
We're edging on 5 o'clock here in Ostrad Minat. The heat is almost at its peak of the day, having baked the surface of the pitch here, the artificial turf, for all of the morning and through the afternoon. And so the half-time respite, much needed, and now the players make their way back onto the pitch. France leading Ireland by 5 in the Rhymney Valley in South Wales. This is our location for this year's Under-20s Women's Summer Series. And we do have the Welsh coming up next. The hosts are facing Scotland at 6 p.m. on this pitch. It'll be a quick turnaround after the final whistle of this match before that one. If you're looking to keep in touch with Scottish and Welsh fortunes, we hope to have your company for that one as well. But right now we have a very interesting matchup, one which is close. The Irish have been in top form, save for 10 minutes at the start of the match when they were outplayed by the French. They've come charging back into things. But the question is, Amber Reid, I suppose, are they going to be able to keep that up across the 60-minute barrier and through and keep the pressure on the French?
It's going to be a real challenge to the depth of this Irish team. They've given themselves a real chance in this game, and I think they probably played some of the better rugby at times. And it's now about, can they sustain that? What messages have they got at half-time? You expect both teams to come out strong, both teams to play with tempo, but like you said, it's the players coming on. Can they have the same impact? We know the French have depth, but can the Irish match that?
No doubting the frontliners for Ireland are doing the job right now, keeping them within striking distance of this Under-20s French side. No mean feat. If they can go any further and put scoreboard pressure on the French, things will get even more tense. And then we will also see what the French are like under that kind of pressure. Katrina Finn gets ready. Alice Torra, the referee from Italy. Checks with her assistant referees, and we're about to get going.
Okay.
So Finn puts it away to the left-hand side of the pitch, and it's going to bounce, and it might have bounced right into the path of Robin O'Connor, who was charging after that.
Another meter. She showed in the first half that she's a abrasive carrier, but also has that pace, and she could have been away under the sticks there.
French, don't close.
Ireland starting this half without Sophie
Thanks.
Barrett, yellow carded in the first half. And the French go up for this. Good line out and take by the captain Roboan. All these French players looking to make an impression in front of French under-20 selectors, but also the whole of the women's programme, paying attention to the performance of this under-20s French team. They like to bring players who are ready through to the national team quickly. So anyone who really stands out here in Wales for France might be able to be drafted into training camps, even ahead of the World Cup later this year in England.
Yours?
And that might be fanciful on the face of it, but nonetheless, if injuries in certain positions occur and someone has made a particularly good case for themselves, you just never know. And France get the turnover here. It goes downfield. Picked up at the back by Gallagher. And here's O'Connor, first half replacement, who drives forward. Good power from O'Connor. Then it's Lily Morris, the Munster woman, who's on the next charge. She's robbed of the ball.
about these players having an opportunity to get drafted into senior sides. There's a lot of players across all nations who have been in the senior setups during this World Cup period. They might be a little bit off the mark in terms of being selected for the sides, but it's a massive opportunity to see what that environment's like, to test themselves at the top level, to see which players are going to stand up physically and mentally for the future.
Is it fanciful to think a player we're seeing here this summer could be featuring in the World Cup, Amber?
There's potential. I mean, you've seen the rise of Henry Pollock in the men's game from playing in the Under-20s World Cup to being on a Lions tour now, so there's no reason why these players can't hold themselves up. If they're good enough, they'll get selected.
Ireland win that line out back. It's chaos at the set piece right now. Gaffney. We'll have a scrum instead to settle the matter of who really should be playing with this ball right now.
Coach! Band! Set!
So Gaffney gets a penalty. Her forwards' efforts impressing the referee, and France penalised. Finn works a good angle from her left foot.
Set piece is going to be a real test. If they can stay toe-to-toe with the French and come out on top like that occasion, it's going to really help them in this match. It's something they can go to if things aren't quite going to plan or they need a reference point. It's the set piece, and they're doing well so far, this Irish team.
Bottomer's darts have been so good today, and she nails that one again. Finn, fast charging Adams Verling. First time we've seen that today. Ireland don't get it right afterwards, but Adams Verling at full speed is a sight which Ireland want to see much more of. Here's Ella Burns.
Offside. Advantage.
Gallagher worked well to Bottomer. Knows where the support is. Ireland doing well to secure this. Gaffney dropped off the back to Finn. Good hands here from the Irish. Nicely worked. A duck and turn from Caoimhe McCormack. Finn, only one option away to her right. Goes all the way to Hannah Clark.
No advantage.
France shut the Irish down well, but they are opening up gaps in the defence, Amber.
Lovely bit of variation there as well, playing off out the back of the 9 pod, finding Finn.
Offside.
Hits the midfield, and that tip is on. If you can get the ball there, they're just a little bit flat when they run off Finn. Just means that they're not taking the momentum into that collision. It's a bit easier for the defence to manage, but if they hold their feet a little bit more, hit that ball at pace, they'll find those line breaks.
She's moved her game on again from last match, Katrina Finn. Really hitting the right marks with her kicking out of hand and the way she's constructing play. Ireland with a plan in the backs, it would seem. Here it goes to Finn. The Adams Verling pass just slipped out of her hands. She was your player of the match last week, Amber, but it seems like they have made a concerted effort to get Adams Verling more ball in the second half already. 2 times they've looked for her.
Devastating in that game against Wales last week. Multiple line breaks, a real handful to manage in attack, and yeah, you definitely want to see her with more ball in hand, or even running at the line hard so you can use her as a decoy runner and hit someone else out the back.
Coach! Jane, you need to be Set!
I'm
French scrum is a good one. Barat hits it downfield. It goes over the head of Niamh Gallagher. She has two French chasers coming on very, very close to her. Gets it away well to Clark. Barat takes this nicely. So many French options here. She jinks to the left-hand side, then passes on to Grandhomme.
Go, 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 go. Inside.
Zoe Jean with light hands.
Take her.
And France right through the middle here with Correa. She passes just to the right. The offload is good as well. The French are going to score here. They strike. They take the direct route to the try line. And France have the first score of the second half.
And 18 out, please.
Lovely bit of play there, great break. Correa goes straight through the middle at that breakdown. The French have so much width set up in their attack. The Irish were panicking. They were overfolding round. Correa notices that straight through the breakdown that's left unattended. Jean on her shoulder. And then exactly like the first half, Ogier, poacher's try, every good scrum half knows where the ball is.
And Barat trying to add the extras.
Try is good.
Thanks.
And she does just that. She is such a good place kicker. And she does the job again. So the French stretch their lead over Ireland to 24 points to 12.
Thanks.
Such good hands from Correa.
Almost thought she missed the initial opportunity to give a 2v1 pass, but went for the out-the-back offload as well, showing the bit of flair that she's got.
Barat with good distance. Gallagher runs instead of kicks.
Okay, good.
And takes things back up to halfway. Good pass, close. Elise Adams-Verling. That was really nicely done. As was that. Ireland's O'Sullivan-Sexton on the park and opening up the French, but they have, again, got their mitts on the ball.
It's a good decision by Gallagher. Saw a couple in the first half where she returned with a kick rather than run. She looked up, saw the backfield was covered, attacked the French line. I think Sexton's on now in place of Finn. Finn had a good game, but I think they're very different players. Sexton's going to look to attack the French line a little bit more. You see she put Adams-Verling away there with a lovely little late pass. I think you'll see a different style of play from this Irish.
Thanks.
With Sexton at 10.
Ireland disturbed the line out, but it's still the French who get it back. And again, that route right through the middle, the one they go for. Carrera slipped it away, brilliantly done, and Ogier is going to race in for a third score from the scrum half. The forwards brushing away Irish defenders, and Ogier profiting once more. Hat-trick for Justine Ogier.
Yeah, and the Irish guards either side of the breakdown not doing a good enough job. The French clearer comes in, causes a bit of disruption in and around, drives the Irish player competing for the ball past. And then Chloe Correa, wonderful spot again. Straight through the middle of the breakdown. Almost a carbon copy of a couple of minutes ago.
15. Time? 15.
Try is good.
Thanks.
France with their first choice place kicker now on the park, making all these scores almost more painful than normal.
Back out to you. 15
That time Barat
seconds
doesn't
left.
find the target.
Time.
29-12 though, all of a sudden. The French have picked themselves up and have stretched their leads, and it might already be too much for Ireland to recover from.
This is the tester now though, isn't it? Ireland could either implode or they could show the same grit that they've shown in that first 40 and come right back at this French side.
It's only another 2 tries of the like that they scored in the first half to put themselves back in contention that they need. Gallagher, and they'll be right in the mix again. Gaffney.
Stay.
Lynn plays scrum half, the prop Barrett. O'Sullivan-Sexton, her pass is intercepted, and France are to make Ireland pay for this. Talalua now hitched from Psyche. Sherizade Psyche is bundled forward, and the French get another penalty.
No, it's okay here. You have the doctor inside. Time off.
So unsurprising, Barat will go to the corner here for France.
It's a silly penalty to give away there. Finn's definitely off her feet in that breakdown, and at that point you just have to leave the ball, as tempting as it may be. Don't give France an opportunity to control the tempo of this game, especially with a kicker of Barat's quality to put them right in the corner.
These are alarming times for Ireland, with the French looking for a third score of the second half, and good field position to launch from.
The hooker. Thanks, Mary.
To the middle they go. Claimed well. Ireland get an initial shunt on, and the French will roll it in field. Well shut down though by Ireland's forwards. Ogier.
Number 3. Thanks.
Ireland so committed, close to the ruck.
Green, no.
French not getting momentum from their forwards, so they go to the blind side, and Barat has just picked the hole wide open. Pauline Barat diving home with such ease. She flew through the air after gliding over the turf. The French go beyond the 30-point mark, and they are looking so good.
The Irish did really well to repel the French maul right at the start, but it's just that late movement by Barat into that space. Her vision is so good, and she just seems to glide and be in the right place at the right time. Great communication with Ogier at half-back. They're on the same page, and a dive to finish it off.
But those dives on artificial surface, they hurt, don't they?
Yeah, it's not for me. And I didn't want to drop it either.
15.
Barat is up and looking to add the extras to her own score, but she won't quite. Nonetheless, France leading Ireland now 34 points to 12.
It does look good for the cameras though, if you can remember to smile rather than grimace as you hit the floor.
O'Sullivan-Sexton changes the side for the restart. Need to change the run of things now, Ireland. How to put a stick in the wheel spokes of the French juggernaut. Not easy to do. Gallagher. To watch that carefully.
Outside. Back.
Charges upfield to put everyone on side. For the French are full of running. Saiki knocks this over for Cogny. And Cogny gets the ball. She almost gets away. For Annette Cogny, there's been so many moments across this match, across the last match, where we've almost seen her tear across the turf and score a stunning try, but for a last-ditch tackle or a foot in touch. She looks so dangerous. We just haven't seen many actual highlights of it, just glimpses.
Yes.
It's been a not quite highlight reel.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
Numbers, please. Water pop.
So the water break on for both teams.
I think one thing that Ireland have done really well, when they've kicked with purpose. They've kicked out or they've kicked to space. What they can't do is allow the French a platform to attack by kicking loosely or not on their terms when they're under pressure. So unfortunately that last one from Gallagher there just came off the outside of her boot. She's gone down with cramp, and then they've had a really slow chase because Clark's had to come from way behind to then put everyone else on side. So then it means that Cogny's getting into the game, French are on the front foot, and the Irish are under pressure again. So they just need to stay patient, look for the opportunities to kick if they want to kick, but they need to do it on their terms, not when they're under pressure, because that is going to fuel this French team, because they love to play in broken field.
Yes, but is in the middle. If you use with a...
It's very difficult to look at an area of the game where this French team aren't the best across the Six Nations that we have here.
Can she go out?
They're good in structured play, although they make it look unstructured, and then when it is unstructured, they're the best.
Yeah, they seem to play off each other really well. It comes from structure, knowing where each other's going to be. So when you do start to play off the cuff, you're like, I can rely on someone being on my inside, my outside, because I know how we set up, I know what our shape is, and then you can create options off that. I think the thing that the Irish did really well in this first half was get out of their breakdown, and that's an area where France probably need to tidy up in terms of going into the England game next week. They got put under pressure by the Irish multiple times.
Advantage!
French advantage, French ball. And again, Korea. She now knows exactly where the soft spots are, and she's being ruthless in seeking them out. Barat, show and go from the 9, beautifully done. Playing at 10 right now. Carry through the middle from Toon. Now they sweep away to the left. This is going to go down the line. Pizicelli put to the floor though by Florian Payeux.
Captain, you can choose knock on or touch. Scrum or touch. Scrum?
Can't quite see on that close-up angle there, but the French backs sit behind the ruck when they get in and around the try line. So the forwards are going, doing the heavy work, looking to batter down the door. But when it's on and the Irish defence get narrow, the whole back line, they've got their wingers stood on the touchline, but the midfield swing as a unit, which means that they can have so many opportunities on little lifts or to play the ball wide when it's on to go.
No problem.
All day, girls. Calm now, all day, come.
Crouch!
Stay, go. Come on.
Bind!
Avec moi, Lou. Allez, bleu, allez, allez, allez.
Please. Keep your body and weight. Both sides, yes.
It's also really hard to defend that late swing as well, because as a defence you want a target, you want to look up and see someone that you can go and hit, especially off your try line, because you generally bring a bit more line speed. If players swing late into that space as a defence, it's really hard to know who your player is and who you're picking up, so it creates that little bit of indecision which the French are playing on with the little lifts and defenders biting in. So it's a really smart bit of play in and around the 22.
Bind!
Allez, force.
Set!
Attends.
The Irish scrum edging and creaking, but the penalty is theirs.
The angle, you change the angle.
So Alice Torre not too happy with
Yes.
the angles and pictures that she sees at scrum time from France.
You can
A couple of
have
scrum
the
penalties that have
back
gone
now.
Ireland's way.
Okay, perfect. Now?
Finn puts good and safe legs on that kick to touch.
Okay. Water break, guys.
Side of things, and but these particular moment for Ireland is one in which it's important for their coaches, one would imagine, to see a collective regathering and making sure that they can come back to this into these last 20 minutes. They don't get rolled over by more French tries, that they hit the reset button.
It's a massive test of mentality. How much grit are you willing to put in this heat? 60 minutes under your belt against a really good side. Like, how much are you willing to put on the line for the shirt, those around you, your teammates? But it's also a tester of that leadership group. I think Jane Neal has shown in both this game and the last game how she can be as a captain. She's really vocal. How much her and the group around her can lead her team. It's about finding that collective action to then go and attack the French with that. Being really clear, really clinical, which I think the Irish have shown over both games as well, that they can do so. It's almost about taking that emotion out of the game and thinking with clear heads. Again, it's really hard with this heat. So, yeah, it's a real test of mentality for the team, test of mentality for the players. It's a show to the coaches that I'm willing to do everything for this shirt, but it's also a real test of that leadership group to drive their team forward and around when you're down on the scoreboard, to try and fight to get a foothold back in this game.
Do such moments improve you as a player and as a person as well, but particularly on a rugby field? It's, yes, you can impress your coaches and then they know that you've got that in you, but does it mean that you, down the line, are able to look at yourself and go, last time we were in a difficult situation and managed to play well despite this, despite the heat, despite the scoreline? So I know personally I can do it. Is there that own self-growth, or is it really just about impressing the coaches so that they know you can do it?
Yeah, and I think there's loads of sessions, like for me as a player, there were so many sessions with no one watching, and I think a mentality that we had in the England side was the things that take no talent. There's a saying at Bristol Bears that's written on the wall that Pat Lamb brought in, and it's like, do the things that require no talent. The things that when no one's watching, are you willing to hold your hand up and do the dirty work? Yeah, and like you said, you are in a team. For me, I never wanted to let my teammates down, but also I wanted to know that I'd walk off that pitch having given everything. I never wanted to walk off the pitch and have a what if in the back of my head, because that is the worst thought you can have. So you have to be able to leave everything out there. Yeah, like you said, for yourself, for your teammates, for your coaches. But all that is the groundwork of the future, of the next game that comes up. What learnings can you take from it? And yeah, like you said, it's that confidence. If you've done it once, there's no reason why you can't do it again. So it's a massive point now in the game where Ireland can choose to pull together stronger as a team, or they can let the French continue to dominate this game.
So the water break finishes and Ireland's line out goes long. France have it back. Ogier already has 3 tries today. Chloe Correa having set up 2 of those tries. She's trying to create more for her team, and they go to the left now. Barat with the nice missed pass. And they keep going to the left as well. Konji now roaming off that right wing, looking for the ball. Ireland thunder through at the breakdown, and they've got it back as well. Well, that's the first sign that they are getting back to work, and looking to challenge France. Not for the match necessarily, but for territory for these next minutes. And for what remains in the match as a whole. Borat. Now Psyche. Ireland's making sure Psyche's options are shut down. Ava Thun.
Stay. Use it. Use it. Number 5. Thanks.
Psyche. Roboam with that carry. Sophie Barrett holding her up. Again through the middle they go, almost pinching the ball back. Ireland work it out on the floor and get it back.
Yes, number 5, please, the ball. Thanks.
It's definitely a win for Ireland. Good kick, excellent kick chase. Whole line of Irish shirts coming up together, filling the field. Great tackle, forcing France back onto halfway.
Well taken. And Conyi will go here, beats the first player, and then she heads off again, and a second, and now a third, and this is brilliant from Anne Conyi. This is what she's threatened across today, and she can finally show her skills, her brilliant speed, and all that class. It comes together, the perfect mix from Anne Conyi.
Felt like it had been building for a while, and that was probably our hardest chance of them all.
TMO check.
It's gone to TMO, but I think her foot was in touch just on that one, her left heel, but what pace that she showed. She's beaten 3 defenders on the way to line, but I think after that first collision, the Irish defence just does enough to push her into touch.
She's not going to be denied again, is she?
I feel like her left heel's gone to touch, but the second and third defenders she seemed to beat with ease.
Okay.
We're going to show you an angle.
Okay.
Full speed first of blue foot on line.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
I think it was the first Irish tackle that just forces her foot out into touch.
Okay, yes, yes. Perfect. Between 10 and 50.
I think it's the collision before that one.
Yes, between 10 and 50.
2 meters after 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Captain!
This explanation needs to come with an apology, I
No
think.
try. We have the touch. There. No try.
Poor Anne Conyi. Another one scratched off. Nonetheless, a stunning moment from the French winger. Just not one that results in points.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks, Al.
That's that grit as well from the Irish, like players flying across to try and cover that space.
What's happened?
Someone went down, just get a sub.
We have the sub for green.
She's coming now down the stairs.
Yes,
Sorry.
no problem. I understand. Please, quick.
So Irish desperation wins out here, and
Max, quick, please.
who is it that makes the tackle? It's Ireland's 21, that's
We can,
May
okay,
Goulding,
we can
the
continue.
Saracens player, who has saved her side there. Great last-ditch
We
effort.
can continue. Too late. You lose the ball forward.
Okay, Poppy can come on. Let's go. Are we joining feet? Yeah. On gagne, on feet. Ensemble. On a les petits. How many seconds?
Are you okay?
We're joining. Sorry.
Yes, yes. But they have to communicate to myself and
It's okay.
if they don't call me, there are sub. I can play. Okay.
Play. Sorry. I don't even yeah, all day.
Boys, what's happened?
Hold. I'm not saying until I know. She's calm. Yeah, it's okay.
So Ireland's line-out didn't go to plan, but they get the scrum from it, and back comes Poppy Garvey into the fray. The Railway Union and Connacht's player. We are standing in front of Poppy Garvey's parents right now. So there's a big cheer for her return. Just to our right.
Girls, please, on your feet.
Did a couple of key interventions in that first half in terms of the breakdown. She led the counter-ruck, which led to one of Ireland's tries.
Yes. Let's change the side. Thanks, Mary.
So I think as the game starts to get a little bit scrappy, the tempo's really been taken out in the last 10 minutes. See if she can ignite something in that Irish back row.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, let's go. I got you. That's not there. And second engine too.
It's okay. Girls, please.
Take a deep breath.
Play rugby. Thanks.
So Garvey, Aoife Corcoran, and still the number 8 Jemina Adams-Verling, the Irish back row on the field.
Bind. Set.
Another scrum penalty for the Irish. The French unearthing a bit of a problem at scrum time. Certainly in the eyes of Alice Tora.
Yeah, they're definitely on the wrong side of the referee at scrum time. Probably need to get one of the players to have a word and see what the referee's seeing, see if they can fix it up.
Long binding.
Well, France have England in their last match, and that surely would be an area where English eyebrows will be raised by what they've seen today at the scrum. Possible area for England to attack. Irish line out, Jane Neal doesn't quite get up there. And so Ireland knock it on.
The touch, right? Knock on green in touch.
But let's have a quick chat about who's caught your eye and potentially who might take your player of the match
Captain.
nomination.
Long binding from the 17.
I think Jane Neal's had another good game in that Irish shirt.
Binding, yes. On the back.
But in terms of the French players, Justine Ogier,
I'm there. Okay.
not to be outdone by Pauline Barat. Last game, I think she's scored a hat-trick, but also been in and around the action, kept the tempo high. Second half, Chloe Correa has really come into the game, breaking through the middle of the rucks, causing some real problems, carried hard, getting some meters for her team.
Off the back goes Toon, and that's a nice line as well. Talalua, Barat, nice hands along the line. France creating this opportunity on the right wing. First time we get to see Kalia Broya in action. She's been on the field from the very start of the second half, but she's, I think, only touched the ball for the first time then. Just has not gone her way in the second half.
Knock on, scrum or
Really has
touch.
gone the way of Chedizadze Saiki. She's seen a lot of ball, the French number 13, who is also playing at outside centre as well. Really young player who's impressed again.
Yes.
Showing a good turn of pace as well. She's popped up second last in that attacking line. Look to the outside arc. She has enough strength as well to brush off any tacklers. You really have to go low on her, otherwise she's going to power through and find those gaps.
So Amber, Justin Ogier, Chloe Correa, Jane Neal, Ireland's captain,
We can play.
who makes the cut as number 1.
I think in a second half there's been a little bit stop-start. Chloe Correa is my player of the match. I think the 2 breaks that she's made, she's carried hard.
Yes.
She's worked tirelessly and created those 2 opportunities that have pulled the French away from this spirited Irish side.
Okay, perfect. I can play. Thanks.
So Chloe Correa not actually on the park right now, but Amber Reid's player of the match. Congratulations to her. Off the back of the line out again, there are more problems for Ireland coming. Ogier. And into the line here, Baroya. Dinked over the top. And she's done well, Hannah Clark, to ensure that came back on the Irish side.
Only penalty.
May Goulding. And Gaffney now playing in first receiver. Sullivan Sexton.
No advantage. High tackle.
So Ireland have a player down for a high tackle from France.
Time
So
is
break
off.
on here.
I think if the Irish players look up, especially their playmakers,
time,
the
no
wingers
problem.
really need to get excited. There's 3 French players
time.
deep in the backfield, and it is not on to do that long clearance kick. They're almost set up for it, ready to run back. If you want to kick, the space is in behind that front line, the little dinks over for someone to chase. That's your kicking option. Or keep the ball in hand, play it quickly to width and see what their wingers can do. They've proved a handful so far, but I think the Irish just need to play and try and get the ball to the edges at the close of play. You've got 5 minutes left. See if you can really get at this French side.
Sorry, girls. Can I ask you a few of water? Thanks.
I've got a hydrate here.
This was how it happened to Hannah
No,
Clark.
water, thanks.
Annette Cogny with the initial contact, she was fairly low, really.
Okay.
Clark also very low to the ground, so
20 blue.
that's why they
20 blue off, please.
connected on Clark's head.
He's gone. He's gone. He's there. Okay. High tackle.
Ireland's first try scorer today, Hannah Clark.
Yes, on the 5.
She's played well with the ball that she has seen.
I know that is difficult, but please, long binding, both, okay? You're a little bit close, please. Thanks.
I can.
No?
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 Okay. Thank you. Got you all day, girls.
You can stay.
Let's get her squeeze on. There you go. On my call.
Coach!
Allez, Agathe, allez, moi.
Bound! Set!
Ready, hold it.
French free kick, and they get an extra 10 metres from it as well. They are setting their standards and sticking to them.
Free kick, girls. Anyone?
Robois, the captain, and Talalua. Ireland line them up, and they'll have to line them up again and again.
No hands!
This French team are working on increasing their
It's okay,
advantage.
don't touch her.
Psyche puts it just over the top here. This is nice. It lands as well, and France are going to be in the corner. Scored by Baroya, and they keep finding new ways to cross the whitewash. It's more brilliance from the French.
It's a lovely way to kick, and I think It's just the variety that the players have in that French midfield. They can all run, pass, kick, multiple options. You probably expect that more from Barat. But Saiki comes in at that first receiver.
30 seconds.
And it's perfectly weighted. Roya still has a little bit to do to beat the two Irish, but again, the French showing more tools they have in their armoury.
Ireland have succeeded in slowing the French scoring rate, but they've not stopped it entirely. Barat has put this over from the touchline. Another excellent kick from Pauline Barat.
No problem.
If we had any more time to play, Amber, she might play her way into contention for your player of the match shortlist. She's only been on in the second half.
We are very close in the scrum.
Okay, so we need bigger.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I asked to your front row. Thanks.
There is an MVP category that each team has and that selects after the conclusion of next Thursday's matches. Pauline Barat for France have to be surely a consideration over the course of these first two games anyway. She's been just brilliant, and that's more deft touches from Barat. Pisichelli, well, that's gone to the floor. And Burke was the player who made the most of it.
Offside.
That's what can happen when you're starved of possession in the game and you just feel like you need to create something. Lovely break by Burke, and then she just tried to throw an offload that she didn't need to. She just needed to be a bit more patient, build on the great work that she'd done. And now they find themselves back in their own half, having to rebuild again with French in possession.
On the line, thanks. Perfect.
Not straight. Lesier's line out.
Line out.
Gives Ireland the ball back. So Maeve Clenaghan
Mind the gap. Keep the gap.
to
Thanks.
throw in, and
Perfect.
Ireland maybe with points left in this match still to score. Goes to Garvey, takes it in the middle, whipped away into Sullivan Sexton, and now O'Connor into the line. This is a nice sweeping move from left to right for Ireland, and Clark taken down on the halfway line. Ireland reload. France keen to get off the line and shut them down. Despite their ascendancy, they are still making life very difficult for Ireland with their defence. No one in French ranks is resting and sitting back. And that's why Adams Verling's power is required in that last carry. They go a little wider here. Good step off the left foot of Lucia Lin.
French are really fired up in defence, but they look like they're straying offside and getting away from it at the moment.
Jane Neal on the carry too. Ireland fluidly working this to the right-hand side, and that's a nice drive through the middle. Aoife Corcoran. May Goulding hit really hard as she tried to kick the ball downfield. Renewed sense of urgency from Ireland, Amber, but France still well within their comfort zone in defence.
Yeah, potentially straying offside, and I think they got away with that there, but a couple of really nice passages of play for Ireland. Just getting over the gain line and to then kick this ball away seems silly to me. Just, she gets one in the ribs for it, but you've put some really nice play together. You've shown variety, you've shown options, you've got over the gain line, and then to kick the ball away when you haven't brought the backfield up is madness. Just keep ball in hand, see what you can create. There's 4 minutes left on the
competition for this, and Ireland get it. Corcoran. Now Garvey. O'Sullivan Sexton doesn't take the ball with her. And France over-eager. So Ireland not making ground with ball in hand, but they are keeping ball in hand. And penalty now to move them into enemy territory. O'Sullivan Sexton goes for the broke, and she gets it. Shilidzade Saiki was underneath it, but she dropped it in the sun. And Ireland with a chance. It's been a long time since they've been down to this end of the field.
Say the number, please.
Not straight this time. Ireland's turn to full foul of that with Clenaghan.
Scrum or touch, quick, please. Scrum.
Is it rule applicable?
Yeah, oh, okay. I'm sorry. Inside 22.
If they don't go up, it's allowed to be crooked.
No. It's very.
But even if they don't go up.
Yes, but if you throw here, it's okay. But you throw there.
Okay,
no,
thank you,
okay.
Thanks for letting me out. Come on. Okay, girl. I'm breaking right. I need you to win. So go. Lower. I need you lower. Yeah.
Crouch!
Lower.
Bind! Set! Stay.
Darlene Barat now back at number 9, where she's last match. And starting things off here for the French to go wide right from the set piece. Talalua.
Stay!
Ireland watching those French run as well, and not just that, but
Okay.
giving as good as they get in contact.
Use it.
Big pump downfield. Robin O'Connor underneath it. And she brings this back with speed, then finds Finn on the edge. Finn does well,
Stay.
keeping the play alive. Neal can't take that with her. It's about the first mistake that Jane Meals made in 2 matches. And it's come at the end of this lung-busting, draining encounter for both teams. In the peak of the day's sun as well, this match has been conducted.
Putting a ton of work again for her team. Heart on sleeve, thrown herself about, got stuck in, some crucial turnovers, tackled hard. I think the Irish have
Thanks. Okay, thanks.
really taken care of Talalua. Last week she had lots of carry meters, lots of gain line, but I think the Irish have marshalled her really well.
Moment.
Not allowed her much front foot ball for her team.
We've only seen her in pockets, really, bursting through a tackle here and there, but not the consistent presence of a week ago. Oops, right-hander.
And it might be a result of getting used to the new combinations she got around. We spoke about it in the last game, how you have to build those centre pairings, but that might be a reason. Or I think the Irish have defended really well, so you have to give them credit as well.
Yes, right? Are you okay? 42 seconds to die.
So the last play of the match, says Alice Tora.
Yes, I'm here. You have to stay here. Thanks. Coach! Bind! Set! Stay there. Okay.
Barat steps off and goes into contact herself. Tunya is found in support, the number 8. Ireland with the penalty, and that brings a cheer and a smile to Irish faces. It has been mostly France's second half, but it hasn't been one way. Ireland have provided resistance, they've had chances of their own, and they have won at the end of the half. They haven't scored since the first half.
Perfect.
This will be the last roll of the dice. So Clenaghan has a front pod and a back jumper to look at. It goes beyond Garvey, who was the intended target. Lily Morris takes it instead. Goulding, Neal, O'Sullivan, Sexton. Last carry from Adams-Verling, and the French have taken it, and they want to go as well. Barat's full of energy, kicks this ahead. Ireland with 5 players back here, and so they can play it here. And Hannah Clark puts it on the toe to go in a foot race up against Annette Conji. How these two have energy left to burn at the end of all this. They both dive down on the ball, and Conji has got it back.
I'm sorry?
Hannah Clark was closing down that space then. She is rapid.
Inside. The time is finished, girl. Use it.
This test of endurance for both teams has ended. A tough afternoon for both Ireland and for France, but the French at times making it look like a joy. Their fluid style of play on display, particularly in this second half, and they put distance between themselves and the Irish. They are a mightily balanced and talented under-20s team. Amber Reid, this French team, would you say it's the best team we've seen over the 2 match days so far?
Yeah, they just have the depth in their squad. They have the playmakers who read the game really well, have all the skill set. They have a really clear game plan. And physically, they are strong, big, powerful, and it allows them to get on the front foot, particularly in their 4-pack. So I think the French are probably the best all-round team, but Ireland did cause them a lot of problems today. Ireland were phenomenal in that first half, created some really well-worked tries, showed some variety of their own. But again, that 50 to 60 minute period just took the game away from Ireland.
This is how it got going in the second half. Correa with a nice slip pass out the back, and then Jean with the link to Ogier, who scored her second try. She was at it again, Chloe Correa, finding Ogier a little bit more orthodox that time.
Thought Ogier, although she didn't get player of the match, I thought she was fantastic today, got her team going, was on the end of everything as well.
3 times a scorer, and Pauline Barat then adding to that tally afterwards.
Not often you get 2 crossfields, 2 very well hit crossfields in a match. Ireland's one in the first half, and Saiki steps up at first receiver there. Lovely, well judged to perfection. Breuer goes over in the corner.
And that took France beyond the 40-point mark, and they stayed there. The French, very good value for their victory, but Ireland again showing what they're made of and pushing France close, especially in the first half. It's ended between these two, 41 points to 12. So stay with us here in Ystad-Mynach. In 10 minutes' time, we'll be bringing you the action of the last match of the day. It's Wales against Scotland coming up.